on Holly Alcala. 11,000. He came down on a bicycle. Yeah, that's it.
So what country?
This was in Maui.
Oh, it's Maui. Okay.
And I said to my wife,
Good, because I brought up the Mediterranean, so I thought you were.
I'm going there.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay.
I said to my wife, I said, there's a bar and that's where we're going. You know? But I'm going from Malta.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, I think we're ready, guys. All right, call to order the meeting of the Municipal Authority, April 15, 2024. We just returned from an executive session of the board to discuss some pending legal matters. And I'll take a roll call. Oh my God, Tim Kelly,
Here.
Tom Greco,
Yeah.
Steve Merkel.
Here.
Now, if I'm saying everybody's name
No.
wrong.
Walter Jennison.
And what's your first name?
Walter.
Walter. Last name again?
Or Jennison.
Or Janice, please forgive me.
Okay.
And Maria Kane here. Sorry, not thinking straight today. Mike Madron, our solicitor, is here, and Dave Porter, our engineer. All right, let's please stand for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, everybody's had a chance to review the agenda. And I have a motion to approve the agenda.
So be it.
I will take that motion from Tom. Do I hear a second?
Second.
A second from Steve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. There is no public here. So
Let's see here.
no, are we supposed to take any public comment from anybody online? No, I didn't.
No.
Okay, so seeing no members of the public here, we will move on. Everybody's had a chance to look at the minutes from our prior meeting of March 18, 2024. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Steve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Tim. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, treasurer's report. Steve, do you have a treasurer's report for us tonight? I did. see
Yeah,
some-
so real quickly, you can see turn sideways, but you can see where we are cash flow wise. We have roughly about 10.5 million. Oh, there we go. 10.5, little over 10.5 million in your funding. Most of that is in your operating funds. And that's because if you look at the budget worksheets, we've received about 1.6 million in tap-in fees, and those tap-in fees are related to the Ellis Preserve project that we got in. We got those in the last couple months, and so that's put us in a good cash position, which is allowing us to take care of paying for our bond payments for the year. But we have not yet gotten into the first quarter's worth of billing. That'll be happening in April. And so we'll see actually revenues starting to show up in April this year. So, which is typical. We're always that first quarter behind. And then we're always behind as we go along. But that's, we're doing okay. Just waiting for those bills to go out. And once we have those bills, then we'll be able to see how we've done for the first quarter.
Okay. Anything else, Steve, on the financial?
I'll take any questions that the board might have.
Did anybody have any questions? Okay.
Okay.
And our debt expense, When's the next, I mean, aren't we doing that like quarterly or something like that? I forget.
No, it's twice a year. So I think our first payment, if I recall, was in February or beginning of March. Maybe it was beginning of March. And we made that, and then we'll have a second one. I believe it's in like the late September, early October timeframe.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, anybody else with any other questions?
No.
Okay. Thanks, Steve. And Dave, do you have an engineer's report this evening?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. Really quickly, I wanted to update the authority that I met with Steve Neese and George Sharretts out at the Newtown Hunt Pump Station, where one of the recent storms we had dropped a tree limb through the roof. Took a look at that damage. Fortunately, it was largely just roof damage. There was some electrical conduit in the station that was slightly damaged. It appears that the authority's insurance would cover that. The deductible is relatively high at about, I think, $10,000. I advised George and Steve that if they can find a contractor that could just deal with the roof and that conduit, to just hire a contractor directly, thinking that we could get it done under what the bidding threshold would be. So I think Steve and George are working on ironing that out.
We are.
The roof currently right now is covered. So, I mean, there was, with the exorbitant amount of rain we've had, there was maybe a couple of drips on the floor. So they did a fantastic job, sealing it up and protecting it for the time being. The West Chester Pike and French Road projects, admittedly, I'm still trying to kind of get back up to speed after spending some time out of the office over the last week. So I'm hopeful to move that forward and get those wrapped up and out into a bid package for the authority. The ongoing fog program issue that we've been dealing with near St. Albans, Steve Neese and Andy and I had met with the owners of Luigi and Giovanni, and we've set forth what the authority expects as far as their ongoing operation and maintenance, and what we expect to see from their hired professional as far as recommendations. I'm in the process of putting that in writing to the owner. They're going to have their engineering consultant contact me with any questions, and we're giving them basically 30 days from that conversation to evaluate the situation and have something in writing back to the authority. In the meantime, they have agreed to do monthly pump outs and provide copies of the reports to the authority. Stony Knoll, the 17 lot subdivision, is under construction. Right now, they're looking for the authority to sign off on their water quality management part 2 permit, which is for extension of the low pressure sanitary sewer system in that development. It's required for any extension of sewer that has grinder pumps. So unless it's over 55,000 gallons per day or 250 homes, typically a water quality management permit's not required. But because the grinder pumps are as part of this, they do require the part 2 permit, and that's something that the DEP looks to the authority to sign off on. So I've reviewed that packet of information. I have that here with me tonight. I will send copies to Suzanne to get to Steve when he gets back in town, because it has to be signed and notarized by, on behalf of the authority. So Steve, as the manager, can do that on behalf of the authority, and then it'll go back to the developer. They'll submit to DEP and either get comments or have their permit issued. The Ellis Preserve, I've been working diligently to keep up with their capacity consistency requests. They have several tenants that have lease agreements with Ellis Preserve, and basically what I'm doing is evaluating what was approved through sewage planning versus what each specific tenant is anticipated to discharge into the system, writing a letter of consistency accordingly, and if they have a grease trap, evaluating what is expected to be discharged as far as grease into the system to make sure that what grease traps have been approved and installed are not going to be overburdened. And that concludes my engineer's report for this evening.
All of those grease traps for Ellis are external.
All of them are external. Yes, correct.
And then do we have some type of an inspection schedule with respect to any external traps?
We do not. And that's something as part of the implementation of the FOG program that we should look to do with every grease trap entity, is to come up with an O&M agreement to,
Yeah. And are we within our rights to charge a fee for that at least?
We started to work on with the township a revision to the grease trap ordinance. I don't think we ever completed that work.
right.
So maybe we need to kick that back into gear with the township.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay. The only questions I had were, is the pump station at Old Masters? I see there's been, some activity over there, which it shut down or something like that, and the KBX report.
There was, I think, an outage, a power outage there. And what had transpired was, with the electrical surge, the main breaker at the station has, way I understand it, 3 different settings. So the recommendation is to adjust that so that the entire station doesn't go down before the emergency generator would kick on and the backups for the VFDs don't lose power. So that's something that we'll look at, getting a recommendation from Gorman-Rupp, the Gorman-Rupp pump manufacturer, to see how we might be able to adjust that. We may have to have an electrical engineer take a look at it, or electrical contractor make an adjustment to it.
Yeah, I'm thinking warranty items as well, if it's something that.
Right. Yep.
Okay. All
I had a quick question on Ellis Preserve, that lift crane. Any status on that?
No, we've been asking a couple of contractors to get out to give us pricing on it. The one contractor we met with did think that what we could do is kind of excavate in between the lift crane and the outside wall of the wet well, stabilize it with a machine, pour concrete in between the two, and kind of reinforce that foundation for the lift crane. We just haven't gotten the pricing for it.
Okay.
And the bioxide, is that time frame for that being functional?
Yes, so I went back and looked through my email correspondence with Evoqua. I think there was some information that they needed from the authority to set up accounts. And in the meantime, I asked him to provide me with a proposal, not only for the O&M of the bioxide system, but for remote read as well, to kind of to fine tune that information. I'm still waiting on that proposal.
Great. Okay, any other questions for the engineer? Okay, and Steve, any additional reports for us from the
No.
manager standpoint?
Yeah, I think you already referred to several things that were in the monthly report. I would make note that the Goshen Road, we thought that one of the pumps had seized, and actually it had, but it looks like they've been able to repair it, so that's good news. They
Yeah.
are going to start getting me a list of recommended, what they would recommend as pumps that we would have on the shelf. So if a pump goes down, and then we'll go over that with Dave, and then make a recommendation to you as a board as to having a couple pumps kind of in place, so that if a particular station goes down, we're able to continue to do that, because it's taking a long time to get a replacement pump right now.
Steve, Have you gotten any feedback that there's water at the Goshen pump station?
I don't think so.
Okay. The reason I asked is because I got some requests from, I think it was KVX, that asked that the public water service wasn't available there. And that's something that we addressed, I want to say over a year ago, and found that the valve at the street was turned off for some reason. So I don't know if maybe George or one of the crew can go over and take a look at it, or if we need to call Aqua to verify it.
All right.
I think they were
have
doing
somebody
some
from
pump
George's
station
team go
maintenance
over.
there and didn't have clean water at the station.
Okay. Goshen Road, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else for you, Steve?
That's all I have. You also have the RHM report. So
Yes, any questions from the board, on any of the reports provided to you?
No.
Okay. All right, I think the only thing I had was, wait, no, we already asked about that, sorry. Okay, all right, let's move on. All right, consider approving bills on check register A dated April 14, 2024, totaling $230,591.76. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Walt. Do I-
Second.
Second from Tom, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on to 10.1, consider approving the following payments associated with the 537 Public Sewer Project build out. I will list the two of them. $5,493.12 to Herbert MacCombie Engineers for Part 2 permit work associated with the Act 537 plan for the Ashford service area construction, and $5,818.12 to Herbert MacCombie Engineers for Part 2 permit work associated with the Camelot service area project. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Steve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Walter. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next, consider approving the 3,000 escrow release payment to J Rook Property Group LLC at 4,128 West Chester Pike for completed work. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Steve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second we'll take from Tim. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Right, consider approving the $29,207.64 performance bond number 2177732 dated May 7, 2015 to be released to Daniel P. Dunnigan of Simkis and Block at 1041 Old Cassette Road, Berwyn, PA 19312. The security was sanitary sewer improvements on the Melmar. It was for sanitary sewer improvements on the Melmar campus, which were completed in 2015. Do I hear a motion?
So I just have a quick question. So is that, everything's done?
Well, let's take a motion and then we'll have comment. I'll make the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Tom. Go ahead, Steve.
Sorry.
That's it.
Yeah, so the paperwork here is all the original performance bond from 2015. Is everything done and we are releasing them at this point?
It looked like that was indicated in the
Yeah, that's correct.
information.
Okay.
They had.
Yeah, I
some
did.
problem with sanitary sewer. Go ahead, Steve.
I was just going to say the performance bond was for a period of time. As long as the system functioned well, we should release it. It probably should have been released about 3.5 years ago, and it wasn't. So
Okay.
they requested it now, so we're
And then there's been no complaints from Melmar?
Should we give him interest on
I mean, everybody's, there hasn't been any complaints to you, Steve?
No, I mean, Dave, as far as you know, the system's operating fine still, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on that? That's a good question. All those in favor?
that?
Aye.
Okay, new business. Consider approving the Chester Ridley from Watersheds Association proposal to plant a riparian buffer at Drexel Lodge Park for an active recreation area. Only. The area which is next to the Preston Run, which is overgrown with invasive species. Good. Newtown Township has agreed to the project and will facilitate it pending municipal authority approval. Okay, and I think I would like to have this contingent upon,
I'd like you to make the motion.
Okay.
Perfect. Makes sense.
perfect, okay, I'm going to include at the end of that motion, subject to legal review. Okay, do I hear a motion?
Motion?
Motion from Tom,
Second.
second from Steve. Any questions or comments about that riparian agreement? Right, all those in favor? Okay, motion passes. Obviously, no public comment, no members of the public are here. So I will adjourn this meeting.
You did great. You were great. You were great.